jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back
You're listening to World Combat Sports. Salute to each and every one of you this morning, man. You know what it is? For the WCS supporters, first and foremost, I appreciate you. One love, and thanks for supporting the channel. And also a big salute goes out to the ones who got up this morning, blessed to have employment. You know what I'm saying? To go out here and make a living for yourself and family. Big salute. And may everything bless you with prosperity moving forward in life, shawty. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's about. For those of you that's in the building this morning, man, hit the like button, man. You know what's up? We're going to get cooking real quick. You know what I'm saying? The stove is always on anyway. You know what I'm saying? I just add the ingredients and the food that I plan to damn throw on that motherfucker, and we're going to do it. That's what it's all about. So, man, I pretty much pick up my board and go surfing on these damn media waves, just listen to people talk and everything. And it's amazing that certain people they want to grab hold of Kambosos so quickly. You know what I'm saying? They want to be in his company so quickly when they was just in Teofimo Lopez's company. It wasn't that long before y'all was in Teofimo's company, right? He beat your boy. He beat your boy Lomachenko, which far supersedes what Kambosos did for Teofimo. You know it. I know it. Everyone who understands that shit logically knows it. You know it to be true. What Teofimo did with Lomachenko far out, it supersedes that of what Kambosos was able to do this past weekend. The reason I'm saying that is you look at, once again, the credentials. You look at his medals, these amateur medals that he has, his chest plate, his overall chest plate. Heading into that fight with Teofimo, nobody was really giving Teofimo a chance. But he went in there and got the job done. Now, in life, you know, we all have different avenues that we travel. We have different situations that presents us with trials and tribulations, right? That's life in general. And that's pretty much what Teo went through yesterday in his profession. He went through a tribulation where he was defeated. He was defeated without any question. You know what I'm saying? Like, the direct result leaves no doubt they lost that fight. And the reason why I'm bringing that to your attention is because I know his pops is out here, and he's saying pretty much that his fault was leaving his son there too long. But see, I would say this: the reason why they stayed at lightweight, because it was pretty good fights at lightweight. And then moving up to 140, I'm not saying T.O. was scared to move up to 140. Not at all. It's just they probably felt, since they had the hardware, they can be the shakers and movers down here in the lightweight division and pick up some checks. Because that's what it was about Teofimo, Team Lopez. Was, they were sponsored by Bud Light. I mean, they was moving and grooving. He's in Creed 3. You know what I'm saying? I mentioned this before. He has a movie situation coming up. And it doesn't matter if he lost to Kambosos. That's not going to change his role in Creed. We all know that because we have plenty of fighters that was in Creed that have lost. Okay, just do your research. Just absolutely do your research, man. So I'm looking at it that this whole ordeal that just took place this weekend presents us what? It presents us with a Australian sweepstakes, bro. The Australian sweepstakes is George Kambosos himself. He is the sweepstakes. He is absolutely the sweepstakes for, I would say, 2 to 3 big names. 2 of them being lightweight and 1 of them being junior lightweight. Now you ask yourself, why are you talking about junior lightweight? Because it is. It is. Let me tell you why it's a situation that may be enticing to George Kambosos. It may be enticing. And this is what Shakur Stevenson tweeted. Only way I go up if one big names wants to fight me. Other than that, I'm taking over 130. You know what I'm saying? So if I know Shakur and how he operates and what his mentality is moving forward, it seems like he definitely want to fight the big names for something. Like he knows there's going to be a there's going to be a halt in the action. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be a slow in the traffic coming up because he's a 2-division champion. And Shakur, you know, he has this mindset. He just want to keep on hunting. He feel comfortable and confident about his skills, and he just want to keep on progressing forward. Could Kambosos even select Shakur Stevenson from a lower division? See, I said this earlier, and people, you know, if people want to, disagree with it just for fun. They want to snarl about it as if it's impossible. But yet you're praising Oscar Valdez for taking a fight with Emmanuel Navarrete. See, you people pick and choose who you want to glorify with making big time moves like that. See, it only doesn't matter to you if you don't care. Like if you don't care about the person, you don't really give a damn about their moves. It's like, oh, so-and-so chose him. Okay. But in this particular equation right here, George Kambosos is on an all-time high. And, 3 of the big names that should be in the lottery is Gervonta Tank Davis, Devin Haney, and of course, Shakur Stevenson. Those are all big names. You know why? Because for Shakur Stevenson, I believe he would go over to Australia. The other day, I wasn't for sure that Devin Haney would want to go over Australia. But the wild part about this all, they're going to have to take an overview of what Kambosos just completed. Kambosos defeated Teofimo in his backyard. So now that he has the juice, whoever wants to step in the ring with Kambosos is going to have to go over to Australia and step in the lottery. The rest is up to you. You're going to have to be a part of that lottery by stepping over there in Australia in his backyard. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like, it doesn't matter if he picked up the titles just this weekend. It's the fact he has the titles, plural. He has the titles, plural. So since he has all the gems, his bag is heavy right now, and he has the juice. So who's going to join the lottery? Can y'all see Gervonta Davis going over to Australia? I don't know, man. I just haven't seen him make those moves like that. I don't know, bro. I don't know. What about Devin Haney? I don't know. It would be good to see Devin Haney in somebody else's backyard and try to clear up all the confusion and hoopla surrounding this undisputed title, this description that defines who's the best at lightweight. Yeah, I would like to see Devin Haney go over to Australia and appease George Kambosos in his backyard. It's still a big fight. No matter how you look at it, it's still a big fight because Devin Haney has the WBC belt. All three of these guys, from Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney, and Gervonta Davis, are all big fights for George Kambosos right now. Why he's fresh off this win? There's all big fights. Now, why I put the Aussie sweepstakes is the fact that, anyone who's willing, or however the negotiations happen, they're gonna have to go to the backyard. They're gonna have to go over there in his homeland. They're gonna have to go to his footprint and pick up those titles. And I think Shakur Stevenson, he just don't care. If they provided him the opportunity to go over there and fight Kambosos in the backyard, he'll do it. Seriously, he'll do it. No problem. I think his initiative, he's forthcoming, and he said, you know what, I have no issues with going over there and fighting Kambosos for the lightweight titles. I believe him. Now, the only reason, my only dilemma with the other two, Devin Haney and Gervonta Davis, is because money plays a huge factor with these guys. And it should, but the money plays a huge factor, right? So how is money pretty much diluted and become a non-issue in this particular equation with George Kambosos? Because Kambosos, he's trying to make his money too. He's not too interested in other people making money for this. He's not interested in somebody trying to tell him, it's going to be 70-30. He's not too interested in that. All he wants to do is fight in front of his hometown, and he's going to do it the most expensive way possible. Whoever's coming over to his footprint, he's going to have to be paid handsomely. He's going to have to be accommodated handsomely for that fight because he haven't defended those titles. It's the biggest achievement of reward that he's ever received in his boxing career. Him and his team is not going to just throw this away because, these names are much bigger than Kambosos. Shakur Stevenson is much bigger than Kambosos over here. Devin Haney is much bigger than Kambosos over here. Gervonta Davis is much bigger name than Kambosos over here. So when it comes down to it, Kambosos already said he's stubborn. But, his language right now seems to lead me to think that he's open for options. But I truly don't think those options is going to be over here in the U.S. footprint for his next fight, because he has to have some type of skepticism that something may go down, or, he may not have all the leverage in his favor over here in the U.S. footprint. So he want to be in front of his people. He want to be in front of his home crowd. He want to be close to family. He want to be comfortable knowing that the fight is coming to him. He want to, be able to have his fight camp. All the accommodations. Kambosos wanted all for him. And he should, man. He did just what Teofimo did with Lomachenko. This is the grand scale of achievements, man. You got to salute him for that. But boxing is so finicky. Is what have you done for me lately? Even though he just won the titles this past weekend, is what have you done for me lately? Give it a week, give it 14 days. Boxing is going to be up here like, well, what Kambosos waiting on? Who's he going to fight next? I know those bruises healed up. I mean, come on now. Who are you going to fight next? Feliciano in the building. What's good? It's probably going to be Devin Haney in Australia if Jojo don't mess up the plans. Leonard Ella be too prideful to go over to Australia. The first comment, I would be shocked a little bit if Devin Haney decided to go over there to Australia. That'd be a good look for him too. It'd be a good look for Haney to go over there and fight Kambosos in the backyard. It'd be a good look. It'll be different. You know what I'm saying? It'll be different because this is for the grand prize. This is for the grand prize, boy. You know what I'm saying? You're going on deployment over there in another country with the guy who now all of a sudden has all these U.S. fans. You know what I'm saying? Yippity yay, yippity doo dah. Yippity yay, yippity doo dah. U.S. boxing shows up once again. You love them 1 minute and you absolutely despise them the next. Is it going to be Devin Haney? Is it going to be Gervonta Davis? Who would you want to see as fight fans? Who would you want to see, people? Did you want to see Shakur Stevenson move up? I mean, it'd be so much controversy if Shakur Stevenson moved up just for that fight when he's in the process of trying to unify the 130-pound division. Oh, man, it will piss so many people off. And then I'll say to myself, you know, it's boxing. You know, how does Shakur Stevenson be able to maneuver himself into position to face Kambosos for the belts, bro? But it's boxing. Never forget, it is boxing. Boxing is not a single entity, y'all. Boxing will never be a single entity. It is a sport. You can never consider boxing as a unit. Because even if boxing is considered a sport, internal to that name of boxing, it's so many things below it. The microcosms that's not consistent and doesn't make sense to people. So with the microcosms that fuck up the sport of boxing, you can have someone like Shakur Stevenson move into position to fight Kambosos. And then it'll be fucked up because Devin Haney, in my opinion, he should be next up because he has the WBC belt. That's if he gets past Jojo Diaz, I'm assuming. And then Gervonta, just like Feliciano mentioned, is that Floyd Mayweather, I don't think he really take deep consideration, him and Leonard or what have you, to put Gervonta in a situation to go over there in the Aussie backyard and fight. I might be absolutely wrong. I just think right now they want to be in control of everything. And going over to Australia, they really want to be in control of anything. It's chess. You know, Floyd Mayweather is attempting to play chess with Gervonta Davis. The reason why that's the factor is because he's the cash cow of Mayweather Promotions, Gervonta Davis. He's been groomed, and now he's been placed on stage, and they're trying to basically provide much exposure for Gervonta Davis as possible to get the fans to know who he is and to pay to come see him fight. They're building Gervonta Davis up to be a prize fighter, period. Gervonta Davis is being built to be a prize fighter. It was at one point in time, Teofimo and his dad say, hey, this is prize fighting. This is prize fighting. We're all about the money. This is prize fighting. And for 3 fights, I totally get it. You know, the Nakatanis, Comeys, and Lomachinkos. I get it. The prize fighting worked out well for Teo. But then, I mean, it's just all crashed and burned. I'm not saying it was a blatant sabotage or something like that. But once again, boxing, right? Boxing is a huge tree of life. Boxing is a huge tree of life. When I look at boxing, I don't look at the trunk of the motherfucking tree. It's just, you have to dig deep below the trunk and see where all the roots are at. How far do they extend below the surface that you don't see? And that's a lot about what goes on with boxing, that you don't see the roots of it. I'm not talking about the roots that's extending, you know, for history of boxing and the old school boxing. No, I'm talking about how deep the roots go and what is them cultivating those roots. Who is watering which root for that branch to grow? It seems so confusing. There's no one can say, damn, how many roots are there that's cultivating and giving this tree life? That's boxing. You don't know who's making moves behind the scene. T.O. wins a freaking purse bid with Triller, and it's all good for them. Showtime. You know what I'm saying? The news is just all over the place. 6.1, and it all crashes, bro. Like who would have thought that T.O. would sit up here and try to body slam Bob Arum in Top Rank, and he would just have an easy go, and it never worked out. Like, he was playing hardball with Top Rank, and then all of a sudden, Floyd comes out of nowhere, slides in there. Triller relocates, abort mission, boom. T.O. supposedly comes down with COVID, cancel the second, and then the third one is canceled. And I always say to myself, T.O. damn near ended up back from square one where he attempted to then run away from. And that was Top Rank. Because in the transition of Teofimo being pushed out by Triller, losing all that money, they defaulted. Now came Matchroom. But in that process, he somewhat negotiated with Top Rank, restructured his contract, right? So I'm just curious to know who was cultivating the roots and watering those roots to that particular branch. Why didn't it produce fruit with Triller? What happened? Why couldn't it produce fruit with Triller? And they have all the motherfucking resources. Triller has all the resources, yo. How in the hell Triller defaulted on a Teofimo card? That is just impossible. How in the hell Triller, who is damn picked up and relocated at a week's time? They pick up and relocate. They have the motherfucking money to do so. They have the finances, man. They pick up and relocate, pick up and relocate, pick up and relocate. Just squandering money. How are you going to tell me they didn't have the resources to make the Teofimo George Kambosos fight? Something else was going on deep in the roots of that. And at the end, Teofimo ended up getting broke off. You know what I'm saying? It may not be so much of bad timing, and it was ominous. It was karma coming, returning back in the ominous way. It probably been, that you was keeping a guy like Kambosos. Maybe if you would have fought him when you were supposed to fight him, Tio would have been good. Kambosos would have been good. But Kambosos seemed like he just generated more energy and energy and energy. They just built up more and more motherfucking fire for Kambosos. Like he was steaming mad. He was losing money in fight camp. He said, I'm gonna fuck this dude up. Motherfucker lying. He don't have COVID. Sometimes you keep strong individuals, man, like Kambosos, that's obviously cut from a different cloth. Like them Aussies are tough. Like even Jeff Horn was motherfucking tough. You know what I'm saying? Until he ran into certain people. And to be honest with you, I don't see Kambosos as anything special right now. He did what Teofimo was able to do. Lomachenko was on the pound for pound list. Tio was on the pound for pound list. And now Kambosos has the motherfucking title. Mr. Paz, what's good? Salute WCS. Salute to you, bro. Appreciate you pulling up. Who do you want to see Fulton fight next? Totally off the subject. Hey, the only person that's there for Fulton fight is Arlene, man. All right. But back to what I was saying. Arlene, that's it. That is it. That's the one person I want him to see. That'll be a good fight. Because once again, Figueroa is moving up. But I look at this whole damn circle. in the lightweight division. It has a lot of promise to it, but the only way we're going to get what we want and get some type of credence to this lightweight division is we have to see how boxing allow it to play out. Like, people have to understand that with boxing, you have fresh names coming in all the time, and they accomplish something great. They provide another bookmark on their legacy that stands out, and people look at them as being special for that moment. And it gets real difficult to become special, long standing. It becomes very difficult to be special, long standing. Most of the time in boxing, they don't build up a murderous row of killers in every division. It's no way. Life isn't producing killers like that just to go ahead and compete in combat sports. It's not. So when a fighter accomplishes something, if they that guy and they're able to hold their title for a length period of time, then it's all about what the opponents they face, for people to continue to give them that respect. You know what I'm saying? And treat them with dignity in this boxing game as a champion, and say, damn, this is our guy. This is our guy. But for Kambosos, he's only did what Teofimo's done. I mean, he's defeated somebody that was on the pound for pound list with the crowns in the lightweight division. There should be no reason why people are just quick to abort mission with Teo, and then they want to jump on Kambosos. If you listen to anything I said in my previous lives about U.S. boxing fans, some of them, a lot of them, they're so quick to support neighboring fighters, especially if they have an accent. It takes me back to Conor McGregor era, where Conor McGregor was talking shit, and they love to hear Conor McGregor talk. Who the fuck is this guy? They love to hear him talk shit, especially when it came down to Floyd. Floyd was our boxing hero, so to speak, at that time. Floyd was who we celebrated and we respected. But when Conor McGregor came up on the scene with that accent, you know what I'm saying, that Irish accent, then it became a thing where U.S. fans was like, oh, I love that guy. I don't think Floyd can fuck with him. It's the same thing with Kambosos. Same thing with Kambosos. Kambosos just happened to inflict punishment on a fighter that a lot of people were starting to dislike. They were starting to dislike him, for one, because his dad pretty much predicted, and they was waiting for a point in time to say that his dad was absolutely wrong. They was just waiting for the opportunity. So they start bringing all this stain because of his pops and how vocal he was, right? And a lot of people think he was rambunctious and he just imposed him say shit just to be saying it. And then Teo won the titles and he began to change. So they was taking Teofimo Lopez, who a lot of people were hating on Teo anyway when he won the belts, because it was a back and forth going on media, going on sidebars, pretty much with Teofimo on who he should fight next. Everybody had a say so on who he fight next. And this kind of blends into what I'm saying about the undisputed type of shit, right? So it became a Teofimo Lopez and Devin Haney situation. And people start disliking and building up all this animus towards Teofimo because he said he was going to do one thing with fighting Devin Haney, and then he changed his mind and reneged on that. So he said, I'm fighting my mandatory. That plays into his franchise title. So I put it out there like this, that Teofimo was being antagonistic a bit, being spiteful. It's a dirty game. Both Team Haney, both Lopez was talking shit about each other. You know what I'm saying? The verbal sparring is going back and forth. It was like his own entity, his own little match outside the ring. They was just, talking derogatory, voicing their derogatory opinions about one another, and the shit was playing out in the public. When shit play out in the public, you allow it to be viewed by many, and then you allow them to place judgment upon you, whether they're gonna like you or they're gonna vilify you. And in Teo's case, there's a lot of people that was looking at him and saying, you say you're gonna fight Devin Haney, but you're not. We want to clear up who's truly the undisputed champion at lightweight. But him and his pops kept saying, yeah, we're gonna do it, and then they get in the public, right? They're in front of the public eyes, and then they say, oh, fuck that, man. He ain't fought nobody. Why are we gonna do that? Fuck him. We got all the belts. We did everything we want. And for a minute, people was like, okay. Like they wasn't tripping too hard. It's like he did go in there and defeat Lomachenko. And then over time, the back and forth on YouTube and shit, the back and forth, all the videos surfacing and all that stuff floating around, people start, looking at Teo and saying, you know what, I don't like that guy and his pops because, the same shit they did with Danny Garcia. A lot of people kind of despise Danny Garcia a little bit because his pops, but Danny Garcia is actually pretty cool. He don't say too much. But for Teo began to sound like his pops. Teo began to basically, I wouldn't say co-sign, but he started to emulate his pops a little bit. He started to talk a certain way in public. He started to say things that was reminiscent on what we used to with his pops. He started to not produce. I think it was just a bad window of missed opportunity for Teo, y'all. It was a bad fucking opportunity for Teo. It was bad. It was a bad missed opportunity for him with those 3 cancellations. It was fucked up. And I think it had a lot to do with ulterior motives that took place to prove to Teo, nigga, you ain't bigger than boxing. You ain't bigger than boxing. I know you're trying to come in the game and it's the takeover, but that goes for anybody. That goes for anybody to think they're bigger than boxing. You have to be that special guy. Even Floyd Mayweather had to make some type of concessions. Even Floyd Mayweather had to understand, certain moves he was making. He might come in there as the second, as the Bravo side. But yet his whole perspective in life was to be the A side. He pretty much went in there and said, you know what? It's okay. All right, I'll do this for you. I know where I'm going. I know what I'm capable of. It's cool. Oh, cool. You want to wear those type of gloves? Okay, it's cool. It's cool. You want to do this? All right, cool. And then look where it took Floyd. But with Teofimo Lopez having 3 delays, 3 postponements, it destroyed a lot of respect that people was having for him and his pops. It destroyed it so much with all the media, the pictures, and everything else. Kambosos came in that motherfucker hot. Kambosos and his team was fucking hot, dog. It's like these motherfuckers trying to play me. You can't keep somebody idle for that long. They have the biggest opportunity of their boxing career. You can't keep them. You can't stall them out like that. Sometimes you just build up a motherfucking monster, dog. And that's what they did with damn Kambosos. They built up, they fueled, they hydrated, they fed Kambosos during that hiatus. And when he came out in that fight, Teo was lethargic with his defense. He was going out there just doing what the fuck he thought he can do. He tried to dang put hands on Kambosos early. He tried to take him out. But did you not understand it was early on in the fight? Did you know you had a fresh, fueled, energized fighter that's been on the damn stew for 3 postponements? Did you underestimate what was standing in front of you? I think Teo did. I think he really, truly underestimated Kambosos. So Kambosos would go on to get a knockdown, go on to, have his pockets in the fight where he was hurt and he recovered, and then he was dropped. but he finished the fight strong. Somewhat reminiscent of how Teo did Lomachenko. Lomachenko, he came on heavy in the championship round. He did. Most of the 12. He came on heavy. It wasn't enough, but in this particular scenario, Kambosos closed out the show, just like Teo closed out the show against Lomachenko. Lomachenko came in heavy, but Teo, he came in with much more invigoration in the 12th round to make sure he get the win. Kambosos left no doubt in the championship rounds that he had won the rounds and he was going to win that title. Now, I thought for sure that boxing was going to show us their colors once more. I thought boxing as a whole was going to say, you know what, this is Teo hometown. And then I was thinking about it. I said, you know what? It's just something about what they attempted to do with Top Rank. It's just something about this whole thing being a setup. It looks good from the outside with Teofimo fighting his backyard. But you know how they say the fix was in? Motherfuckers was going to get their karma. There's no way that they was going to rob Kambosos that night. Because in his backyard, it seems like Teo fans had turned on him. You know what I'm saying? It seems like Teo fans was cheering at one point. Like they was in shock that he got dropped the first round. But they was kind of cheering him throughout the fight. But I don't think it was maximized in that group setting that Teo had his hometown fans after the opening bell. Them same people was cheering him on and giving him that energy to beat Kambosos. I don't know, man. I look back at it. I say, will boxing show us colors and rob Kambosos? Or will they say, you know what? All Kambosos had to do was come in here and keep it close enough for us to give him the decision. And he ended up doing more than that. And, he got it done. The big question now is, what's next for Kambosos? That's a huge question that he's thinking about as we speak. What's next? Is he going to go out to Vegas and then, call out Devin Haney over and over again? Because there's going to be plenty of media out there. Kambosos is going to be the highlight. Watching you see how much media out there, right? This is the wild, wild west when it comes to loyalty. Look and see how much U.S. media is going to be posted in front of Kambosos. Kambosos is not a figure in the U.S. boxing scene. He's no bigger. I mean, he's slightly bigger than what he was, but nothing, because people was calling Kambosos a bum before he came in there with Teo. Teo's fighting a bum, even though he fought Mickey Bay. You know what I'm saying? He had Lee Selby on the resume. People were saying, he's a bum. He ain't nobody. Yep, Teo got the 6'9" treatment. People lost respect for him. I think Kambosos would consider 2 fights and 2 fights only, Haney and a rematch with Teo. I just don't know, Mr. Paz, if he's going to take that. Like I can see with Haney, but I do not see Teo taking a rematch with Kambosos at 135. Now, anything can happen if they believe that, okay, it was a lot of distractions that Teo had going into this fight, with an injury and everything. At least he said it before the fight, he had an injury. It cannot all be it can't just be all be clenched up in the palm of your hand and then you toss it in the trash and say, that's an excuse. You can't ball this shit up all the time the same way and toss it in the trash like it's an excuse. He said he had an injury, bro, and he had other things going on behind the scenes. You would rather him say it than wait till after the fight like Pacquiao and Lomachenko and shit. The audacity of people trying to compare and devalue the win that he had against Lomachenko. But at least Teofimo Lopez said that he was motherfucking injured. Lomachenko talking about the judges was paid off and he had a shoulder injury. How the fuck and why do I hear so many people bringing this shit up that Lomachenko was fighting one arm, but he was saying the judges was paid off? Why y'all not saying the same thing here? Because the way it looked? Because Teofimo was bloody? Pacquiao said his legs was heavy against Yordenis Ugas. His shoulder was fucked up against Floyd. Y'all not holding them accountable, though. I mean, these motherfuckers come up with excuses. At least Teo gave you a heads up. Yeah, have an injury. And people call it an excuse. Now, if he would have said it post-fight, people call it an excuse. It's fighters that come in with an injury, right? People come in with an injury, they win. And they say, oh, my hand was fucked up, my knee, my elbow, whatever the case may be. And people just, oh, okay, so-and-so was injured, but he did a good job. He got the victory. I'm talking about a big fight, a huge fight on the biggest stage. Teo said he wasn't 100%. But for those who know I support Teo, it's almost like you cannot, as media, speak on things. Like, I'm just speaking on what I know. I'm just speaking on that. You don't have to agree to it. Of course, if you don't like Teo, you're going to automatically come back and disagree with me intentionally. You just want to come back and disagree. People that was sitting up here hating on Teo before he lost his title is because they wanted him to fight a certain individual. Teo did nothing outside. What was at his access, his accessibility. His accessibility was a mandatory. He didn't go outside of that and say, you know what? Let me go up here and what's her name? Let me try to fight Ray Vargas. A fight that really don't make no sense. Let me try to fight Ray Vargas. Let me try to fight somebody that's outside any interest of the boxing fans. He pretty much fought his mandatory. He just fucked around and underestimated him, stalled the guy out, put him in idle mode, and all this energy and electricity was building up. All this anxiety was fucking building up for damn Kambosos. And he would not be denied on that night, dog. Kambosos wouldn't be denied. He was hurt several times in that fight, but he would not be he wouldn't be denied, y'all. The biggest question I have now is who's next? Because Kambosos is not no superstar because he beat Teo. Go in there and defeat Gervonta Davis, okay. Go in there and defeat Devin Haney, okay. You to finish your titles or whatever. Go in there and defeat Shakur Stevenson. Those are three big names that would get you a pretty decent check. Now, if you go ahead and fight Ryan Lion Garcia, who had the audacity to put his face in front of the lens and say some shit like, yeah, Kambosos is going to be my first. Shut the fuck up, man. Go make another video. Nobody ain't trying to see you come back and face Kambosos and get your ass knocked the fuck out. Canelo just said you're a waste of talent. Nigga, you get in front of the lens talking about, oh, that's what I'm gonna do when I come back. I'm gonna face Kambosos. Kambosos, don't do that. Give us the fight that's on the thumbnail, okay? That's all we want you to do, Kambosos. Now that you're in the spotlight, show us something. Fight any three of them right there. That's the biggest fight. Fight any three of them. Any three of them. That's all we want, man. As they're gonna turn on you too, Kambosos. Don't sit up here and look. I know you eager. Look, Kambosos. This man is eager for a camera to be in his face. He's loving the interviews. When he get to Vegas, he's gonna be trying to take so much shine away from Devin Haney and JoJo. This would be a good time for Devin Haney to meet Kambosos face to face and say you want it, you're gonna get it. If you want, if I'm gonna give you what you're looking for. If you want it, you're gonna get it. Let me go ahead and handle my business with JoJo, and then I'll handle you later. It'll make for good TV if those two was to meet up, just like Teofimo and Devin Haney. All right, you know I'm telling the truth. It'll be good for these two right now to meet up. Devin looking for that breakout fight. That breakout fight, of course, will be to clear up any damn doubt for the lightweight championship for Undisputed. Any doubt. Because he holds that other stone. Devin Haney holds the stone. The last remaining stone. Devin Haney has it. So it'll be good. It'll be good for TV. But back to Kambosos. Kambosos is going to be out there in Vegas trying his best to get as much media time in as possible. He's not in fight camp. He's feeling good. He's the champion. And he's in the right footprint of the U.S. where you have all these ass kissers that's going to be right there in his face. Oh, Kambosos, you beat up Teofimo Lopez. Kambosos, thank you so much. We wanted to get him back so bad because he was capping about fighting Devin Haney. We want to get him back so bad. Him and his pops, man. They was just thinking they was better than everybody. I'm telling you, dog. What do you think, Kambosos? You know about Teo not fighting you for 3 fights and finally having the opportunity to put your hands on him. How did that feel? How invigorated were you? Man, I'm telling you, these U.S. media, man, I swear to God, man, they can't wait to Vegas. They're going to be treating Kambosos like he is the next Don. He is not a superstar. He just was able to accomplish something in one night like so many other fighters have been able to do. No one really knows Kambosos outside of Teofimo Lopez. They're going to keep the fuel going with this little flame that he has for these titles until he calls and until they announce who he's fighting next. If it ain't 3 of these guys that you see on my thumbnail, who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck, man? Boxing will put some twists and turns in there, and whoever they want him to fight for what another what they call it, a master plan. We got to wait and see what boxing has for Kambosos, the master plan. But if his next opponent isn't these 3 right here that's on the thumbnail, one of them at least, then the fans are going to start turning on him too. Because the whole point and them dissing Teofimo Lopez over a period of time because they kept on capping and selling wolf tickets about fighting Devin Haney. So since the fight never even came close, it never even came close, y'all. The buildup was imminent. Teofimo, fuck that. He don't want to goddamn clear it up. He don't want to. I said it. Just what I said. I say he doesn't have to fight Devin Haney because he's already solidified his accomplishments at lightweight. Then I had a slight change of heart when I saw these motherfuckers ducking Devin. So I say, okay, these cats are absolutely disrespected. They're pretty much blackballing Devin Haney in the lightweight division. You know, Ryan Garcia and all them duckers, even Jojo Diaz, they pretty much trying to blackball Devin. So I was like, fuck that. I said, Teo, they keep on going back and forth. Teo, you need to fight. You need to go ahead and fight one last fight after Kambosos if you get past it. And that's Devin Haney. They clear up any, just make it clearer. Just make sure it's just lucid. Like I'm talking about super duper clear. Leave no doubt of who's the damn superior champion, who's the man at lightweight. Can I ask y'all a favor? Let me see who in the chat. Salute to the ones that's in the chat, man. Bruce Goes on deck, man. Salute to Bruce Goes, man. Salute WCS. Salute to you, man. So, let me get Mr. Pat's comment out the way. Facts WCS, they love to hear person from overseas talk like WWE wrestlers do. Hey, you hit it on the head, bro. You hit it on the head, man. True facts right there. One of the reasons I lost interest in MMA is the WWE aspect of it. The way the fighters talk. I have no idea what you're talking about, bro. There's no way that you can lose interest in mixed martial arts and pretend that this even come close to WWE. The promo is the promo, but MMA is absolutely real to the core. Look, I can put some pictures of post-fight mixed martial arts and post-fight of boxing. Man, it's crazy old MMA, man. Much respect to the Muddy Flats, dog. Yep, T.O. got the 6'9" treatment. I think Kambosos would consider 2 fights. I think the sparring with Pacquiao probably taught Kambosos something valuable. Well, from what I understood, T.O. has some good sparring with individuals. Definitely. I heard T.O. definitely has some good names sparring. I mean, that's in boxing in general. Once again, we got old ass Pacquiao, and we have Kambosos saying, he got some good sparring in with Pacquiao and stuff like that. Okay. Understood. But Pacquiao last fight, he lost. So he might have got some good sparring in that he can appreciate. And of course, he's going to recognize the 8th division champion, future Hall of Famer, boxing legend, Pacquiao. But there's plenty of boxers who step in the gym with big names and they learn something new. I'm just going to be honest. I don't think Teofimo Lopez was 100% that night. That's all. W says, are you saying the media is going to betray Kambosos kind of like Prince Nassim was betrayed in the UK, a superstar? Pretty much. Because they love to hear those fighters with accents talk. They love hearing Anthony Joshua talk. That's why Anthony Joshua can't do any wrong. They love hearing Tyson Fury. Just a little bit. You have some crazed fans out here that love hearing Tyson Fury talk. They love that British accent. In this case, Kambosos sounds more Irish, a bit. And they're going to love hear him talk about that. Oh, Kambosos, we just want to praise you and allow you to, know that the U.S. recognize you as the world champion. You know what I'm saying? What you did to Teofimo, it was absolutely beautiful what you did. It goes down in history, potentially as a fight of the year candidate. We want to give you special thanks up close and personal that you went in there and performed. You gave us what we've been dreaming of because that T.O. was capping. He never was going to fight Devin Haney. And it's going to go left. He never was going to fight Devin Haney. Him and his pops over there on YouTube capping, and they shook hands and they verbal agreed. And then they turn around and say, oh, no, I want to ask, Eddie Hearns for $10 million. That's how it's going to go. Time you do something special in boxing, then you have to face the media. There's going to be some media that appreciate you, and there's going to be some media that chooses to put you in a predicament. You know what I'm saying? They want to befriend you with a couple of questions that are very light and jovial, and then they start bringing on the deception. Motherfuckers start asking you questions. Well, Kambosos, you do have the titles, right? But how do you plan on defending them? Because we have Devin Haney with the last remaining title. And then we have Gervonta Davies, who's a three-weight champion here at 135. And then you have Shakur Stevenson, who said he'll move up to fight the big names. Do you believe that you're able to beat either one of those guys? You know, they're gonna set you up and warm you, give you that ball of milk and turn it over and drip it, put a droplet on your wrist. Is that cool enough? Okay. We want to make sure your endorphins are enacted and you're calm, peaceful, and there's a Sun-Freud rapport between you and I. You know what I'm saying? And then they're gonna drive that dagger right through the middle part of your head. That's just the way U.S. boxing is. They're going to show Kambosos the same love they showed Teo. Nobody was going for Teo when he fought Lomachenko. I was, but not too many people. Boom, they lost. Unfortunately, it took missed opportunities for Teo. Boom, he lost. Now Kambosos is next in line. But look, 3 times like this lightweight shit, 3 times, bro. This is the second time. Who's gonna be the charm next? We need the charm, bro. We need the best fight the best in this lightweight collusion that's going on. We had Teo, boom. Now we have Kambosos. We need in the lightweight division the best fight the best. And the only way we get that is the belt. The final belt that Devin Haney has. Now, when you're talking about money fight, when you're talking about big fight, then you all gonna have to make a choice. If Kambosos don't fight Devin Haney, I want you to keep the same energy. If Kambosos do not fight Devin the Dream Haney, I want you to keep the same energy that you gave Teo. Because at the beginning of the day when the sun rises, goddammit, and a boxer understands that he is the unified, undisputed champion as Kambosos, he's going to make decisions. If a fight presents itself and it's more than what he will make against a fight that we all want to see him in, such as Devin Haney, he may take the bigger fight that has the more money. He may take it. Don't sit up here and say you support seeing, the final piece of the puzzle. You know what I'm saying? To basically finish up the matrix of the lightweight division. Don't say you're all about it. We need to see the best fight the best. Devin Haney got to be next for Kambosos. If he get past JoJo, he got to be next. And then Kambosos come out and say, you know what? I'm going to fight this guy. I know the fans want to see me fight for, but who has he fought? No, we don't want to hear none of that shit. We don't want to hear none of that. We've seen it already. We're going to see if Kambosos is a man of his word. We're going to see if Kambosos doesn't join the Duck Masters Coalition like all the other fighters that have ducked Devin Haney at lightweight. We're going to see if Kambosos stay true to his word. We're going to see if he's all about the legacy or the numbers. That's what it is, because Kambosos ain't really made money in boxing. People can talk all that bullshit when the adrenaline's high and say, yeah, I'm calling out Devin Haney. This is I'm calling out Devin Haney next for that final belt. And then you let 3-4 weeks go by. And that's after he leave Vegas, right? Me and my team has been together and we pretty much figured it out. Me and my team is going to face this person right here. We looked at Devin Haney's resume and blah, blah, blah. No, that damn song and dance is fucking over. The strings are popped. We're done singing that. The reason why we're done talking about resume when it comes to Haney is because he beats JoJo Diaz. It's pretty much nobody else in the division that warrants a fight except Kambosos with Devin Haney. It shouldn't be Ryan Garcia who ducked him. It shouldn't be Javier. It shouldn't be no nothing. It should be exactly what we want to see. And the only reason I'm not mentioning Gervonta Davis because I don't think that fight's gonna happen at 135 at all. So I exclude Gervonta. He's out doing his own thing. For real. Gervonta's doing his own fucking thing, dog. So when it comes down to titles, it's only one fight to be made after Devin Haney goes in here against Jojo Diaz, and that is Kambosos. So y'all keep the same motherfucking electricity flowing through your neurological airways, right? Fire up that shit. Make sure your mid part of your brain is cataloging all this information for recall. I want you to recall all the damn flack that you was giving Tio when he was talking shit about fighting Devin Haney and didn't do it. And then if Kambosos don't keep his word and fight Devin Haney next to clear up all this shit. See, y'all motherfuckers need to stop hating on fighters because you don't like someone. Like, you really never know the fighter that you supporting unless you have had personal time with them. Some of y'all cats live vicariously through these fighters, and you just make it a personal vendetta against anybody who's not supporting the same fighter. I don't do that shit. But the fighters like Deontay Wilder, Bud Crawford, Teofimo Lopez, I've experienced, even though there's different races in between that, I've experienced the backlash from certain people who support common opponents of these fighters. And then they look at you, they never met you just like they never met the fighter. What I'm speaking is clear facts. They never met the fighter just like they never met me. But they make it personal with me because they truly support the fighter they never met. They never met me either, but I don't support the fighter that they never met. So they get all angry and frustrated. You never met them. You never broke bread. It's never been personal with these fighters. So how can a discussion in social media, y'all need to hold Kambosos accountable. If the motherfucker do not come up here, if he's successful, first of all, Devin Haney successfully defeats Jojo Diaz, you all need to immediately push for the fight that y'all was talking about when Teofimo had the belts. I don't want to hear the D word. Well, to be honest with you, Devin doesn't deserve it. You understand, buddy? Devin doesn't deserve it. Kambosos beat the man that Devin didn't. Well, how the fuck is Devin supposed to beat anybody if they don't want to fight him? Virtual? It's supposed to be virtual? Well, we're going to set up a virtual fight between Devin Haney and George Kambosos. We're going to see how many viewership we can have with this virtual fight. Somewhat like Coachella. We're just going to have them, lasered in, and we're going to pretend that we're watching an actual fight. And due to those numbers on this virtual setting, then we'll see if we should make the fight. Man, get the fuck out of here. Y'all know what it is, man. Y'all know what I'm getting at. Stop playing. Wiz, what's good? Kambosos Jr. has quick hands. Says who? Says who? I mean, his hands are quicker than who? His hands ain't quicker than Gervonta's. His hands ain't quicker than Devin's. He has quicker hands than who? The fighting style that T.O. decided that would be feasible to face Kambosos. He didn't even really remain active, like I thought he would. But you have your right to your opinion, big dog. And don't take this shit personal. I got to give a PSA because niggas be taking shit personal when I, I'm passionate about speaking about certain things. Only me though. Only me. They get personal and shit. But we're in the same boat. Like, I support fighters, they support fighters. But if I support the fighter they don't support, it's personal, dog. But anyway, Wiz say, I think Kambosos may be a alchemist and turn Haney legs to wood. Okay. Troll alert. Kambosos got a London accent. London, Irish, whatever. I get it there, Outlaw. Shout out to Outlaw Boxing Club on deck. I think the zone will push for Kambosos. I really don't put emphasis in the whether it's London, Irish, any of that. I just know a lot of U.S. fans become enamored with these fighters with a foreign accent, even African, They just enamored. They don't want to hear this slang, broken, fragmented English over here in the U.S. They want to hear somebody with an accent that basically mesmerized them. You know what I'm saying? Mate, can I talk to you for a minute? I mean, no, your girl. Sure, you can. Hey, Lori, go over there, Lori. Talk to him. He's not from here. He just want to be a friend. He just want to ask you for directions. Yes, Lori, that's all I want to do, Lori. Come with me for a minute. Let's go down to the local pub and have brunch. You okay with that? Is it Sammy, is it okay with you? Yeah, sure, Lori, go. He's just visiting. Let me stop, man. Damn, why is we taking shit personal? Pardon the pun, but Haney Achilles heel is his chin. I wouldn't be surprised if Diaz gets crumpled in corner. Okay, so let's look at it this way. Right? Let's put this juxtapose up there, Wiz. I'm gonna ask you a question. I'm gonna provide you a juxtaposed frame, right? Side by side comparison. When Devin Haney got caught against Jorge Linares, right? Which one of his knees touched the ground? Which one of his knees or his hands touched the canvas? All right. Then I want you to the steel frame Teofimo Lopez and George Kambosos in the first round, and tell me which limb of his body, his left and right foot, I mean, his left or right hand, which one? Which one of his knees or left or right hand was on the canvas for Devin Haney? Which one of the left and right hands or knees was on the canvas for Teofimo Lopez? Then I want you to consider this. Why would you say his chin is his Achilles heel? Because the bragging rights that Devin has now is that he was caught by Linares. Which one of his gloves, left or right, touched the canvas? Then you blend that, you transfer that information over to the second frame, and you ask Teo, which, the left or the right, did it touch the canvas? And then we'll figure some things out. I'm serious. Bruce goes, salute my brother outlaw. But tell me, Wiz, tell me, if that's his Achilles, just because people seem to want to absolutely expunge rounds 1 through 10, all the way up to when he got caught, then you're not true boxing fans, because he did a lot of work between the first round all the way up to the 10. A lot of fucking work, dog. Just to say, oh, you know what? I like all these jelly beans, but God damn it, I just want to pick this cashew over here. That's exactly what it is. You know what I'm saying? You got one cashew to the right in a bowl, and you got a bowl full of jelly beans. Those jelly beans is what was sweet all the way from the first round to the 10th round for Devin. He was having his way with Jorge Linares. And then the 10th round, you had that cashew. Well, you know what? Let me eat on this cashew, because that's all I remember. I remember him, being cracked in the 10th round, and that's all I remember. Y'all gotta let that shit go, bro. Because Kambosos, are you saying his chin is his Achilles heel? Because Kambosos was down just like Teofimo, y'all. Why are we not being honest with ourselves? Like, these fighters all have something in common in what we're talking about. Devin was hurt, but he never touched the canvas, though. Teofimo Lopez and George Kambosos both touched the canvas, bro. Ryan Garcia touched the motherfucking canvas against Luke Campbell. Richard Comey knocked out by Teofimo Lopez. Why we continue to bring up one steel moment and act like nobody else in the lightweight division has been dropped? Why are we doing that shit? Why? Why do we continue to do that? Like you don't want to be considered a temporary boxing fan, right? A temporary is below casual now. You don't want to be considered a temporary boxing fan, but you're not even willing to basically be fair and say, you know what, these are the names that I've seen in the lightweight division get dropped. I just witnessed a fight this past weekend where Teofimo Lopez and George Kambosos both. Do they have are they chin Achilles heels? Are they chin suspect? Are they chins any more suspect than Devins? I mean, you have to ask yourself, you have to hold yourself accountable now. If you can't do it just sitting in the room looking at TV, get up. I don't know where you stay, but go into a mirror, take a deep breath, and you ask yourself in the mirror, am I fucked up for believing what I put out there and not recognizing other individuals and boxers that's been on the canvas? But I just want to pick out the 10th round. Am I fucked up individual for that? Me. Tell me about me. Just tell me. It's the same here, to be real. Every time someone hears or impersonates a U.S. accent, they do a California accent. They seem to be enamored with one. Wow. I mean, I have been over to there before doing my military tour. I loved it. And you know, if you stay somewhere long enough, like Japan, you know, I was pretty fluent in hiragana and speaking Japanese so much to the point where, you know, when you start to address Japanese, like the motorcycle crew that I rode with was 98% Japanese. It was only 2 Americans that rode with them. It was me and this other guy that was in the military that rode bikes. But in order for you to be let in, you definitely have to learn the language. Ohayo gozaimasu. Genki desu ka? You know, you start talking like them. And like, that's not even close. Like, you start nodding your head up and down. Hai dozo. Dande. You know, you're like, doka desu ka? Yuki-san mota? Like, you start nodding your head. You start bowing your head, talking, knowing you don't do that shit in Atlanta. Knowing you don't do that shit in Cali. You know what I'm saying? You start nodding your head and having this grin on your face like the Japanese do. I'm telling you, you stay around people long enough in another country, you start imitating. And shout out to Japan. I loved it. I loved it over that motherfucker. But Lomas touched the canvas against Linares too. I think every 135 pounder has been hurt. You're absolutely right that Loma touched the canvas, right? But I just choose not to mention Loma because I don't think at no point in time that Kambosos should give Lomachenko. I've been trying to keep Lomachenko out of any narrative that I'm putting out there. I don't think he should be in the equation. Only if he would have faced Devin Haney already, cool. But look, people have to understand he didn't have nothing in writing to face Devin Haney when he ended up petitioning for that franchise belt. But in the reality of the chain of command, people look at it as if they're just going to ignore that Devin Haney fought for a title eliminator. I mean, not a title eliminator, fought for the interim title. They pretty much won the title eliminator to fight for the championship. But Lomachenko himself said he wasn't fighting for the rest of the year and pretty much had it his way. It must be nice, huh? It must be nice just to put it out there. Mauricio, I'm not doing this, this, and this, and this. And by the way, my team is going to put in that petition for the franchise. So if it ever occurs that Devin has to be my mandatory, I don't have to do it. I choose not to even mention Lomachenko's name. And I don't want Kambosos fighting Lomachenko. If Kambosos fight Lomachenko, I'm just curious how people are going to react to that. Like, are you going to give him that venom? You know what I'm saying? Are you going to spew that venom that you was giving T.O. when he didn't fight Devin? You should. Because I'm going to tell you, at the beginning of the day, Kambosos is going to try to get this check. Yeah, you can talk about legacy all day, but these fighters, these are fighters. These fighters, they understand what's important when it comes to them making money for their livelihood. You think Kambosos is not going to sit down and reflect upon this and say, you know what? Should I even go out to Vegas? Should I do this? Should I do that? He already put it out there. So if Kambosos is not in front of the lens, and people, we don't see him talking about calling out Devin Haney or basically cementing the fact that he the one initiated the call out. If he's not doing that out in Vegas, man, y'all need to keep the same energy, man. Y'all need to blow him up, because he said he was going to go to Vegas and call out Devin Haney. If that shit changed and he started talking about Lomachenko and bullshit, that's bullshit, dog. That's bullshit for real. Y'all can't vilify Tio because what happened to him, but yet don't act like Lomachenko don't have 2 losses on this record. Let's not forget that, shawty. Only because Outlaw brought Lomachenko up. That's the only reason I even mentioned this dude's name, because I felt he was overrated anyway. I did. And the fact that it was mentioned that he got dropped, man, it just brings me to that point. Like, nobody mentions Lomachenko when it comes to Devin Haney, getting hit and wobble. Lomachenko was sat down in that motherfucker. He was sat down in the middle of the ring. Got up like a little baby, brushed his little britches off. You okay there, Vasily? You okay? And then he had to go redeem himself. So why are we sitting up here acting like, Teofimo being knocked down is not something we've seen before, man? Y'all act like temporary sometime. Y'all got to be fair with yourselves, dog. Stop putting all this emphasis on the boxer that you glorify and you favor. If you're going to put all the emphasis in it, acknowledge the facts. The Tio isn't the only one that's been dropped. Kambosos isn't the only one. Between Lomachenko, okay, Richard Comey, Teofimo Lopez Kambosos, they've been on the motherfucking canvas. They've been on the canvas. I don't know what you're talking. They've been on the canvas, bro. Lion Garcia, canvas etiquette. Canvas etiquette, dog. Canvas etiquette. But Devin was wobbled, and he paced himself back to the corner. And people lose their mind like Lomachenko ass wasn't sitting on the motherfucking deck. That's all I'm saying, bro. I think Tank has the best chin and can absorb the most punishment of these fighters around 135. Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. He's fought bigger fighters at certain points, and he's did very well, man. Tank is a motherfucking monster, dog. El Chin Checker himself. Shout out to El Chin Checker Javante, man. Do they call them Bazooka or something? The bikers over there. I vaguely heard them before. Yeah, in Japan. Yeah, no doubt, man. But I just want these individuals, man, to be fair. Boxing is a fair sport, nor does it consist of morals and principles, but it's turned into a very dark, ominous place when first of all, you have the YTC who's trying to establish themselves as a community who speaks on boxing, but yet it has no freaking foundation to base it off of. Like, it's no unity here. Everybody all for one for all type of deal. So as long as we have individuals that's not willing to hear other people's opinions or anything when it comes to their favorite fighter or a fighter they support, it's always going to be a dark type of environment. You know what I'm saying? Always over here. They're going to leave out certain portions, certain facts when it comes to their fighter, and they're going to keep it moving. And that is called favoritism. That is called biasness. All the hate, all the motherfucking hate this T.O.'s getting because he lost and he was bloodied. People are acting like he was exposed. That word exposed. And when you look at the word exposed, why would you even compare it to the sport of boxing when, you heard it before? The greats have losses on their record. Were they exposed? If a fighter retired and they only had one loss on their record, were they exposed? When they get when there's talk and putting them in the Hall of Fame, they have one loss on their record, were they exposed? Were they truly exposed? Because Canelo Alvarez has one loss on his record. Was he exposed? Seriously, was Canelo exposed? It all depends on who the fighter is and who the name and what they've done in the sport of boxing for people to look at it and compare them to other fighters who's been in the same situation. Lomachenko lost. What he do? He put a picture out there. See, Outlaw did it. Lomachenko put a picture out there of him being in the hospital and had shoulder surgery or whatever. They scoped him. Excuses. Sore loser. Oh, he must have paid off the judges. Sore fucking loser. Sore loser. Is some of the shit that Team Lopez is saying fucked up? Yeah, it is. Majority of the time, I keep that shit right down the middle. They up here talking about they won the fight and he was robbed. And bullshit. Bullshit. You lost the fight, shawty. Just take your losses, and then when you choose to come back at 140, come back at 140. But to say that Teofimo was dropped with a flash down, this where I don't like, I don't like taking jabs at people that speak on boxing just as much as I do, right? And it don't matter what your platform is. We all have a certain depth of knowledge, right? So when you say T.O. is not ready to go up to 140, all from a flash knockdown, right? That is clueless. Like, that is just amazing to me. That is amazing that a flash knockdown will make somebody second guess if a fighter should move up in weight. Not understanding that we're in a sport where you have to meet a limit. You have to meet a weight limit. Everybody's weight limit is different. Some have worse weight cuts than others, and they come in look at a certain way. But people don't want to apply that to Teofimo Lopez, right? Now, I'm about to make a comparison. People don't want to apply that to Teofimo Lopez because he fucking lost and they don't like him. A lot of people turned on him. But yet they will apply it for Kell Brook. They will apply that shit to Kell Brook, who was contending at 154, just one weight class above 47. And they'll say, oh, look at him. He's weight trained. He's weak. Somebody get him a chocolate brownie. Feed him. Feed him, I say. See, it's all about who they choose to embrace, goddammit. Weight loss and meeting a specific weight will always be hard in a sport, period. Especially combat sports. It will always be difficult. But to say he's not ready for the next weight class is insanely misinformed. You have to look at it like, certain fighters feel a certain way at a lower weight class, and then they don't have to cut as much weight. And then they go up to 140. Look at Tank Davis. Another example. He was having problems at 30. You know what I'm saying? People was curious, and all they wanted to talk about, running the press conference down here in Atlanta. Talking about, well, Javante, let me ask you this, homie. You had problems cutting. Hold up. Did I make weight? Well, shut the fuck up then. Hey, that's the last question. See, you have motherfuckers that don't even cover boxing, and all they want to do is ask one stupid question. And Javante been making weight, he's good. But people saying the same thing. Will he make weight? against Leo Santa Cruz? That is the defining question. No. Will EMT be able to get over to Santa Cruz quick enough to revive him from that brutal knockout? And ever since then, Gervonta has moved up to 140. Gervonta moved up to 140 before Teo. He went into the 12th round with Gamboa, and people was like, oh, I don't think Gervonta should move up to 140, dog. He's too small. He go in there against a much bigger fighter in Mario Barrios. I seen it firsthand. I couldn't get any closer. Mario was a big dude, dog. Man, Mario was fucking big on fight night. He was big before the weigh-ins. He was big on weigh-ins, dog. He was bigger than Tank. Mario, man, I'm telling you, Mario's a tough motherfucker, dog. Wasn't his trainer Virgil Hunter? Tank went up to 140. He stopped Mario, the bigger fighter. So why wouldn't Teo be able to move up to 140? They want to talk about how big a fighter is. Well, Devin bigger than Teo. You know what I'm saying? For real, I've seen them up close, like together. Stop the madness. Like we're still talking about size, you know. Devin bigger than Teo. Man, come on. They both make the 135-pound limit. What are we saying ourselves? They both make the 135-pound limit, dog. How are we sitting up here talking about names that's in his division are bigger than him? Every one of these guys is bigger than Teo. Who cares? It's all about legacy. Right now, with the one on his record, 16-1, he still is known to be the first to unify the lightweight division with the franchise belts, with all the belts. You might not want to identify undisputed now, but you will in the future. When it starts building up divisions, you know what I'm saying? When it starts building up divisions, then you will know. When they start mandating, when they finally put franchise belts in every division, people are going to recognize the franchise belt for what it is. I'm not a fan. Look, I'm not this fan who's sitting up here and supporting or advocating for the franchise belt. I'm just saying with change, it happens all the time in life, in sports, economically. It's changes that happen all the time. So this franchise belt, it's good for people to shut it down and say, no, so-and-so's not undisputed. No, I'm telling you, people, if Canelo Alvarez, he could have unified with the franchise belt. He just didn't want to fight in the division for which he received it. If Lomachenko would have beat Teofimo Lopez, would he have had the WBC belt? No. Would they have considered him the undisputed champion? Yes. It would have been no question because it's Lomachenko. It's absolutely factual. It doesn't matter if it's in hindsight and people don't want to acknowledge it. I'm telling you, they would have acknowledged, they would have deemed Vasily Lomachenko the lightweight undisputed champion. And then they would have started carrying forward that name. Lomachenko, he's the undisputed lightweight champion. But since he didn't win with no rematch clause, they didn't want to acknowledge, they didn't want to give any type of praise to Teofimo Lopez with the franchise belt. Because whoever is in front or whoever is the lead for them to start identifying that the franchise belt does coincide with the unification title for undisputed. Sometimes they want the right person. I'm telling you, if it would have been Canelo, if it would have been Vasily Lomachenko, it would have been undisputed, undisputed, undisputed. Watch what I tell you. The language is going to change really quick. And you got to give a shout out to Haney for pushing and pushing and pushing to have recognition for that WBC belt they got. But the crazy part about it is plenty of other people that have WBC titles that are probably waiting for that franchise belt. In 2022, it's going to be another franchise champion, 2, easily. It's going to be 2 more franchise champions. And they're going to come out of nowhere. Boom. Surprise. Surprise. Here go so-and-so's a franchise champion. It's coming. Believe me. And people are going to start saying, oh, shit. Darius Graham on deck. So Darius said Teofimo avoided Devin Haney to fight Kambosos and lost. Let's keep it real. Nobody heard of Kambosos before Teo picked him. Well, that definitely, your comment is what it is your opinion. It has absolutely nothing to do with what I said. Absolutely nothing. Because I'm not going against the grain with you. We already know he chose his mandatory. That's public record, bro. That's public record that he chose his mandatory. It's not the fact that it was karma for not fighting Devin Haney. It's the fact that he had 3 postponements, and that's a long time to be going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And, you know, Kambosos came in here and he looked strong. He looked like he wouldn't be denied this past weekend. So it's nothing I said that holds me culpable for your comment, but I appreciate you putting it in the live chat though. You know what I'm saying? But I will say this there, Graham. It's the fact that why so many people out here glorifying Kambosos if in your narrative you say no one knew him before Teo picked him. So they should only know him just a little bit more now because he has some hardware around his waist. He's a lineal title holder. He's not a superstar. They never recognized Teo as a superstar, and he beat the damn top pound for pound guy, the top 2 pound for pound guy in Lomachenko. He actually defeated the champion. You know what I'm saying? He defeated Richard Comey and went in there as a champion to pick up the belts. All Kambosos did was be able to get the grand prize. That's all. Who's next on the lottery sweepstakes for Australia? That's all I want to know. Jay Ocho on deck. What's good? Teo deleted his Twitter. Who the bitch now? That doesn't mean somebody's a bitch because they deleted the Twitter. You have to understand, as just say the average citizen there, J8. The average citizen. Sometimes you get individuals that's willing to latch on to other individuals and troll people and criticize them and just have traffic. Imagine being a celebrity, right? And you have so many people that want to have access to you and they're sending you obscenities and derogatory comments. They're excoriating you in the media. Would you delete your Twitter? Would you deactivate it? I'm pretty sure. I'm assuming that you will. Because you're really not trying to hear what all these random people have to say about you, bro. Think about all the people on YouTube that basically follow behind and kiss the ass of people and willing to do anything in their honor. So if in their honor, they'll go up here and try to troll other people because they want to be a part of a group. And these are individuals they never met in their lives. And they'll jump up here and say, oh, well, so-and-so, well, he don't like you. So I don't like you either. So I'm going to troll you. That shit been happening all the time. So I don't blame him for goddamn deleting his Twitter. It's not a bitch for doing that. Come on now, J8. How can he be a bitch for being the owner? Look, he's somewhat of a partial proprietor to an online media account. So he chose and took it upon himself to deactivate the account because we live in a world where people will sit up here and poke and be judgmental, and they will act off impulse because they believe it's okay. It's difficult to be in that position of a celebrity and people turn on you. Franchise belt is useless, just cause confusion. Well, like I said before, I'm not an advocate for the franchise belt, but I do agree with you when you say it causes confusion. And the person that's solely responsible for that confusion is Mauricio Suleiman, and people should hold him to the carpet. You know what I'm saying? Put the tip of his toes to the fire, because he the one that wanted to basically enact the franchise belt for a certain individual, Canelo Alvarez. So once he placed it out there, he had to sit up here and what? Satisfy and accommodate Lomachenko, who was the second franchise title holder. And then the third franchise title holder was Teofimo Lopez. And then the fourth one was Juan Estrada. And the fifth one was George Kambosos. So it's only more to come. We're sitting at 5 franchise champions. 5 right now. 5. In Japan, go. We're sitting at 5. And people continue to sit up here with that franchise belt on. Like, you have 5 people. That franchise belt is a part of their boxing history. And you think it's going somewhere quick? It's not going anywhere, people. It's not going no damn where. So you might well just buckle up and enjoy the motherfucking ride. I'm just telling you what I think. It's not going anywhere. Well, let's just hope that Kambosos make the right choice. And J8, you're gonna have to understand one thing. Keep the same energy. If Devin Haney experienced tribulations or experienced obstacles in his career, you can't have that much contentiousness for Teofimo Lopez because you support Devin Haney. He never fought a boxer. You can't invest your time like that, bro. You can't be overly invested, man. Like, you are immersing yourself in personal energy to call that man a bitch. Bitch absolutely is and been done a sentence at this time. It means something to somebody who actually treat it and give it relevance. If you're not a bitch, then don't worry about somebody calling you one. Address it how you see fit and keep it moving. But all of a sudden, T.O.'s a bitch. I mean, come on, bro. Like, dude, you're investing too much time in that shit. That wasn't a bitch move. That's his right. Delete his Twitter account, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's just like someone that has a car and they choose not to park in the same spot all the time. Or they say, oh, I live over here, but I'm gonna park my car up the street and catch the bus there. Oh, you scared? You scared? No, it's a damn reason why they're not doing it. Well, it's a reason why they're not going to this place at this particular time, because they might feel some type of way. It's not safe enough, or whatever the case. But to call the man a bitch, man, come on. It was a bitch for the deactivating his Twitter. J8, that's just a little bit overboard. I'm serious, man. That's a little bit overboard, dog. Why are we so quick to call? I don't think some of y'all been to these camps and been to these gyms, man. Like, look, I can say this. Okay, if you want to say someone's acted a certain way, I get it. But to straight up call these grown ass men who's competing in the combat sport, most of them, even the ones that you consider bums, that y'all clarify as bums, a lot of these cats can fight in real life because they're boxers. You know what I'm saying? They will fuck you up in real life. If it's just you and them and you walked up to him and called him a bitch, and then you want to cry wolf and say, oh, he's a professional fighter, he knocked me the fuck out. But no, you was up there antagonizing and instigating the situation. So you got touched up, and then when you awakened, people told you, hey, man, they got a video of you online, man. Are you going to press charges? Yeah, man, that dude didn't have to put his hands on me. But you was antagonizing somebody to their face and called them a bitch. You tried to demasculize somebody. and they reacted. You know what I'm saying? That's all. Devin and Shakur will box Kambosos' ears off. And Javante. And Javante. Javante will knock him out. Devin and Shakur will box his ears off. Real talk. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's just a danger that's in there for both fighters, Devin and Shakur Stevenson, is that a fighter like Kambosos, he is strong. He ain't no knockout artist. Okay, let's just eliminate that from the language. He ain't a knockout artist. Kambosos can be beat. We've seen that already. And if Devin and Shakur get the opportunity, both of those guys are better boxers than Kambosos. Better boxers than Kambosos. Way better boxers. But will he sit up there and give them any type of attention? Because I don't see him facing that monster in the middle. But will he give Devin the opportunity? You know what I'm saying? Will he provide Devin the opportunity because he's currently a resident in the lightweight division? Or will he, pretty much try to throw mud in the face of whoever, because people can influence people. Like they can go up here and say, you know what, don't fight Haney them. Don't fight Haney them because they're gonna try to outprice them. They're gonna try to, you ain't gonna make no money out of the fight. I'm serious. People will call Kambosos' team up already and say, hey man, who you planning on fight? Man, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this. Shakur Stevenson 130. His price tag ain't gonna be that high. Go ahead and face Shakur Stevenson. Because you if you fight Devin Haney and Javante, you're gonna have to come out the pocket. It don't matter if you got down just won some titles. People gonna be like SO. So what we talking about? What we talking about? I'm just serious. That's how it's gonna go. I don't think Haney nor Javante is gonna go in there and fight for pennies. It's not gonna happen. But Shakur Stevenson at 130 moving up 35 for that fight. Yeah, he might have to do some negotiations where he'll probably get paid the most, but it's still not going to be more than Haney or Javante. So let's see. Let the moons usher in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Let the evenings usher in the mornings. Let the days go by. And let's see what Kambosos' tune is a couple of weeks from now. Let's see. Let's see if he put on a show out in Vegas and call out Haney and all this other shit. And let's see 3 weeks what his mindset is. Does he still have the same mindset? Is he still gonna give us the fight that people want to see at lightweight with the titles? Let's see. Because look, if he ducks Devin too, once again, respectfully, I request that you keep the same energy that you have for Teo not fighting Devin. Keep the same motherfucking energy. We deserve that. We deserve that you keep the same energy. Real talk. But we'll see what's popping though, man. What's up? What else is up here on this? Finally, we getting Kell Brook and Amir Khan. Woo-wee! Whoopee! Kell Brook and Amir Khan is finally squaring off. Next. February 19. Amir Khan finally faces his nemesis, Kell Brook, in Manchester, England. Wow. George Kambosos out here talking shit already, talking Teofimo power is nothing special. Your power is nothing special either there, Kambosos. You're not this heavy power puncher either, dog. I mean, dude. If you're looking for power, you should really face somebody that's going to give you some work. But either way it goes, the 3 that I have on the thumbnail to give him some work. You know, the 2 to the left isn't the string power punchers. But guess what? We just seeing what Shakur Stevenson did to Jamel Herring. You know what I'm saying? We just seeing what Shakur Stevenson did to Jamel Herring. He might not be a knockout artist like Gervonta, but he outboxed the shit out of him, right? And then Gervonta, you know what you're gonna get from Gervonta. So I would say Kambosos, pick your poison, and please allow us, the public, to hear what your choice is. Because too many of y'all motherfuckers getting on the mic after post fight with your adrenaline high and calling out fighters, and then when you settle down, you take showers, you drink some wine, you eat, you talk with family and this and that, and then you get that knock on the door. Hey, how you doing? You got time so we can talk about your next opponent? I know you called out Devin Haney, but okay, if you still want to go out to Vegas and do that, cool. We can do that. But we was really considering something that can make all of us more money. I'm telling you that conversation comes up, people. And then he comes out, with careful consideration with my team, I choose to fight this guy over here. I know it's not what I said with Devin Haney, but I get around to him. You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on, man. The back and forth, being unsure, shit. I already read that. He swole Tio up while I'm looking at some of these pictures out here online. He really lumped him up real good, man. For real. Tio's going to wake up and go to sleep thinking about this fight. He lumped him up real good. But people, my people, I appreciate you for pulling up, shawty, for real. I appreciate y'all for pulling up for sure. Be sure to drop back in, man. I haven't basically. Oh, I forgot to talk about Triad, man. What happened to the boxers? You hardcore boxing fans, what happened? Because, you know, though I talk about boxing more than MMA, I still study them this, you know, absolutely the same. But anyway, Triller had Triad Combat. They had in like a triangle, you know, type setting with the ring format. And man, the boxing, what happened with your boxers? They destroyed these previous. I mean, like, it was back and forth, dog. You know what I'm saying? Some of the boxers, if not all the boxers, should have did what they were supposed to do. But they tried to give the mixed martial artists a slight equal to be able to clinch in that. Like Frank Mir, Kubrat Pulev. Who would have thought that Frank Mir would have a chance against Kubrat? Kubrat fucked up Frank Mir. God damn. Shout out to Frank Mir. He's still a cool dude. But damn, he had him wobbling like a bobblehead on his feet. And then Mike Seals was in a damn tough fight with Mike Perry. And he landed, man, they went to war. Mike Perry ended up pulling it off. I mean, I would have thought boxing would have swept. Shit, I would have thought they would have swept that. With the gloves they had on, the size gloves and everything, but they're used to throwing punches at high velocity with the heavier gloves on. Wow. But yeah, man, I'm about to bounce, man. I appreciate y'all for pulling up. Turn up and tune in to World Combat Sports. I'm out.